Hey, what's up you guys, this is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today we revisit a classic when we get dressed to kill with the Tenno Palette. So the Tenno Palette is derived from the colors used on the classic frames. In my opinion, it's one of the best palettes for newer players, as it gives you a wide array of what I consider to be usable colors. Each row of its current setup actually correlates alphabetically with the classic frame up to the release of Zephyr. Just note that while a majority of these colors are the exact default colors used, there are a few slight variations. Now while this is a great way to keep things organized frame-wise, to the eye it can be a massive clusterfuck to navigate, so I figured I'd go ahead and get a couple things in line for you by highlighting the tones in question, then swapping over to the specific gradients for easier comparison. So keep note of your favorites for future use. Now as with all standard palettes, you can pick this one up under the Equipments tab in the market for 75 plat. Okay, so let's start with grays and off-whites, as they are actually some of the more predominant colors in the palette. Now on the deeper tones you're not going to see too much variation, but as it gradiates to the lighter end you'll start seeing a bit more tone in each one, ranging from cooler bases and even a few that are warmer. These make fantastic base tones as they are not so extremely bright or extremely dark that they'll kill the detail on your frames. Using these gives your frames a bit more of a lived-in feel, which I absolutely love. Next comes the brown tones. These are a bit on the warm side for me, however there is one tone that is a bit more neutral and reminiscent of the leathery tones in the Twilight palette. I'll be honest, I find these to be a little tough to use, but there are a couple that look halfway decent as energy. Next come the golds, yellows, and tans. As you can see, these actually have a nice amount of variation, ranging from antique gold into a couple that I would consider to be brights. Now, as for the lightest shades in this section, I'm not the biggest fan of them as I find them to be a bit saturated for use on the base of a frame. However, they do make nice accent colors. Another thing to note is that on the second line, the first two tones were actually my go-to golds before I got the Orokin palette. And lastly, while the yellow-green is a bit crazy, it makes for an awesome energy color. Now we'll take a look at the blues. A majority of these are going to be a bit too saturated for my personal aesthetic. However, they will make amazing energy colors, and for those of you who are into vivid tones, they will be right up your alley. Now as you can see, there is a subset of more muted blues which do make perfect bases, almost slightly denim in their finish, and make really pretty dusty energy colors. Now let's move on to the greens and teals. While there aren't too many, there are a decent variety to choose from, including brights and a couple amazing gem tones. I'm actually a big fan of the two deeper colors in this set, as they make great accent colors. The last set we're going to take a look at are the reds and oranges, and a random pink and purple. Now a majority of these reds are going to be a bit on the muted side, with only one being a true bright. The oranges are all fairly vivid, ranging from a redder base into a nice bright yellow orange. And then there's the pink and purple, which both make great accent tones. I think my favorites from this are the rich burgundy, the out of place purple, and that bright yellow orange makes a fantastic energy color for fire. Now let's get dressed. So all in all, I think that the Tenno Palette is a fantastic starter if you can get past its organizational scheme. It's got a ton of base tones and a fairly widespread variety of colors. It's also a great way of transplanting your favorite classic color scheme from one frame onto another. I think that my only complaint about this palette is the fact that excluding the grays, it doesn't really offer much in the ways of gradation, with most color groupings jumping from one completely different variation to the next. But aside from that, the palette offers a lot for both rookies and palette junkies alike. So thank you all for watching another episode of Dress to Kill. Be sure to check out the previous episodes, and for those of you with backdoor access, be sure to check out the activities page on the Patreon, as you've got exclusive voting rights to what's coming next. Now don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay drop dead gorgeous.